Hello, beautiful people, and welcome to my channel. My name is Jennifer Diamond, and I'm a certified plant-based nutrition coach living a whole food, plant-based lifestyle for health and well-being. And it literally gave me my life back, and I just know it can help you with yours too. I feel it. So today I wanted to bring you along with me while I make a quick version of cashew milk. Let's do this. So I had a request from Jill Caperton 1568. Hello, Jill. A while ago, you had asked if I would make my cashew milk that I had showed how to make in my new M1 Nama maker. Back then, I had gotten that machine as a birthday gift from my son and husband, and I had shown how to make that. And I talked about how you don't have to have that machine to make the cashew milk. And you had requested me to show how do I make it if I don't have the machine? So I'm finally getting around to doing it. Thank you so much for your patience, and I hope this helps anyone else out there that wants to learn how to make cashew milk, but you don't have any kind of milk making machine. Also, if you're interested in that video, I will link it above and check it out if you haven't seen it before. Okay, it's super simple. I've got my Vitamix blender. You are going to need a blender that has a strong motor. So if you don't have a Vitamix, make sure that you have a powerful motor on your blender. And then we just literally need a few things. We need some cashews, which I have here. We need some maple syrup for sweetening, a little bit of vanilla bean powder or extract if you're using that, and water. And you don't even need all those. You could just do the water and the cashew nuts. Isn't that crazy? Okay, so, I in the other video, I mentioned that I did not soak my cashews and that you don't have to. I do think there's something to be said for soaking them because, first of all, cashews are a really soft, creamy nut, and soaking them just for a little bit really helps when you're blending them up. So I went ahead and took 1 cup of cashews. I store these in the refrigerator. These are the cashews that we have right now. And I put 1 cup of the cashews, and then I just put water from our Berkey that was room temperature. Hot would even be okay, but room temperature is great. And just covering it, just like that. And I, also had mentioned that you could soak them for a long time, like overnight in the other video. But what I have learned about cashews is with this particular nut, you really don't need to soak it that long. If you soak it too long, sometimes the color changes and it gets this kind of not so pretty gray color. So I'm just saying 10 to 15 minutes, 12 minutes, just a little bit of time to soak is great. And I'm going to pretend that this is my kitchen sink. What you're going to want to do is, after they're soaked, you're just going to want to take some kind of colander or some way to drain it, and you just want to, over the sink, just drain the water. And you also want to give them a good rinse, and then you'll be ready to use these. I can't quite do the rinse in front of you, so I will just go right here for a second and rinse. You want to make sure that you use clean water. You don't want to use the water for any reason at all with the, what you were soaking it in. Get rid of that. Discard that water. Okay, I'm even going to rinse out the little bowl that we had them soaking in, and just first, for now, I'm going to go ahead and put them. These are ready to go. Now, my Vitamix has cups, measuring thing here, and so I went ahead and put fresh water, 4 cups. And I don't know if you could see it on this screen, but my 4-cup thing is right here. And so if you have a measuring capability on your container, go ahead and use it. If not, you can just measure out 4 cups. You can even do 3 cups. The reason that I had mentioned that I was using cashew nuts is because I was looking for a creamy type of milk for coffee creamer for my husband and for my son. So if you use a little bit less water, you'll probably get a little bit thicker, but we are gonna use the full 4 cups of water. So I'm just gonna go ahead and dump the 1 cup of soaked and rinsed cashews right in there. And basically that's it. Now we would just blend it. But if you want to have a little flavor, like my guys like in the house, I'm going to go ahead and add a couple of things in here. One, I'm going to do a tablespoon of maple syrup. You do not have to use maple syrup. You can use date syrup. You can use nothing. But they like this. It is a sweeter type of sweetener. That's one of the ones that we use in the house. You could put a little bit more than that, and look at, I'm rinsing it out because it's clean, with the water that we're going to be using. Now, vanilla bean powder, that's what I really like. It will leave little speckles. If you don't want that, don't use that. If you don't want vanilla flavor and this is good for you, that's perfect. But if you do want it, go ahead and use about a teaspoon of vanilla extract if you use that. And if you're like me, I'm just going to use about a 1/4 teaspoon to a half. And I'm okay, and the guys are okay if there are little pieces of like flakes in there. We love the flavor of vanilla, so we use it all the time in our home. All right, now we're just going to blend it up. So if you are familiar with me, you'll know that this is a great opportunity for our dance party. And so I'm gonna go ahead and put my ears on. I really like to protect my ears and get a little bit of dance going on. We can get some cardio in, and let's blend this puppy up. First we gotta plug it in. Here we go. Turn it on. And let's go ahead and go. Good. I hope you feel good too. That always gets me out of breath, and I'm grateful for it because that means my heart is pumping and I'm getting a little bit of cardio out. This was set for 50 seconds. I let it go, a little bit less than that, and it already reset. The idea is just to really blend it up well. I could have gone a little less, but that's fine. On this one, I kind of just put it on the setting for making smoothies. So, and I stopped at 6 seconds before. So anyways, that's fine. Okay, now here we go. We've got it. Check it out. Look at that. Looks beautiful. Little bubbly. I'm going to move the base out of the way. And we are going to do the next thing, which is we need to strain it. Now, with the other machine, it collects all the pulp from the nuts, and this one does not, and that's really the difference. So this is the extra step. Now, I want to get a bowl, and I didn't get a large enough bowl, so let me grab a quick little big bowl, a big bowl. And all you want to do is take either a nut bag. This is a nut bag. It's stained. It is not dirty. It's because I strain a lot of my veggie broth in this, but this is called a nut bag. I will put one in the description if you are interested in ordering one or looking at one. If we can't find this exact one, we'll put one in that is very similar. Another thing you could use is a paint bag, and it is mesh. It will not do as good of a job, in my opinion, as the nut milk bag, but it will do a good job. So what I want to do is put this over as best as I can. Another way you could do it is you could pour it into another container or something standing up, and this fits perfectly into the Vitamix, but I'm going to go ahead and use a bowl. And the idea is to catch all of the pulp from the cashews and catch it in the bag. Okay, so here we go. I'm just going to pour it. You don't want to, let me do this better. You don't want it to spill. It cannot spill. Otherwise, you'll end up putting the stuff that you don't want in the milk container. Okay, so here we go. And you can see it's coming right out already. And I'm just going to go ahead and pour the rest in here. Look at that. Look at that. There is a little bit of suds, kind of foamy stuff. I could rinse that out if you don't want that. And then I just take the top of the bag and grab it and just make sure, you can see how it's starting to drain and it's just leaving the milk. Just make sure nothing is spilling out over the top. And just gently, what I like to do is work my way from the top down. And you can see, hopefully you can see, let's see, I have my drinking water in the way. Hopefully you can see how that looks. See how it's just pouring right in? You can see that? And see how it's like kind of seeping out of the bag? Now, if you over squeeze or you rush it, it can pop out and spill into the bowl. So you just want to take your time. Just be one with your cashew milk. Okay? Okay? And if you hear Remy in the background, he knows we're making cashew milk. He's barking, and that's okay. This is how we roll. And that's it. I'm going to go ahead and do this. Now, what am I going to do with the pulp afterwards? Well, I'm for sure going to show you with the pulp. You can discard it, but why? If you already have an Excalibur or some kind of a access to a dehydrator, you can dehydrate it and then spin it up a little bit, break it up a little bit. I use my dry mix container to my Vitamix, and you know what? I have fresh almond milk. I have fresh cashew flour. It's great. Okay, now, I just want to make sure that I'm getting everything. I still feel a lot of liquid in here, and I also feel like I need to go slower because it can shoot, as you see in the side of the bowl, or maybe you can't see. And I just want to make sure that it doesn't shoot me or shoot all over. So just going slowly and take your time. It's not going to take a long time, a few minutes, no big deal. There we go. Now, sometimes what I do is I take the bag and I just kind of, hold the top because you don't want it to go over, and I just kind of gently twist a little bit, trying to get it to just continue to strain or drain. And if I notice it spraying, like I do a little bit right now, then I'll just do less pressure. Another thing I want to mention is that you can use other nuts to do the same thing. Almond, you can use almond nuts to make almond milk, walnuts to make walnut milk, anything that you think you would enjoy, even oats to make oat milk. The difference, I think, between the cashew and say, whoopsie, I don't know if you saw that, but I just shot it over here. The difference between the cashew nuts and say the almond is, I think, because it's softer, it might take a little bit longer, and the pulp will be a little bit like not as firm as the almond. So, it's still great. You can just keep it in mind. You don't even have to dehydrate it. We talked about, what are you going to do with the pulp afterwards to dehydrate it in the dehydrator? You could just use it wet if you're planning to make something else like muffins or anything else that you might need a little extra, thickener in it. You can use the pulp. Pulp can be used for so many things. Now, if for some reason it still seems grainy, then you can go through and restrain it again. I would just want to show you. Look, it wasn't hardly anything in here. In fact, it's nothing in here to even use. Look at that. It's just kind of this thickness. So I take back, if yours looks like this, well, hello, there's nothing to dehydrate. Just rinse this off, and once it's nice and clean on the sink, I throw this bag in the washing machine. And there you go. So you can see, let me put this aside and rinse my hands. Okay, so here we go. We have this beautiful milk, and it is a thicker, nicer type of milk that I think is great, that will be wonderful for the creaminess that, you know, my family's looking for when they talk about needing like a plant creamer for their coffee. And hopefully you'll see how easy it is to do this. I'm just gonna go ahead and take a sip of this. Oh yeah, there is no grainy anything in it, so you don't need to do anything further. It's nice and thick. I can taste the faintness of the vanilla. I love it. So just to show you, I'm gonna pour it in here and measure it and just make sure that we got the full amount that we started with. And then I would put it in a different container. I wouldn't normally pour it in here if I were you, just doing that so that you can see how much we got. And I could see these little black speckles from the vanilla bean that just did come through. So let me set that aside and let's see. Wow, with the foam, it looks like we added because there's a tiny bit of foam. But let me show you, the 4 is right there. So we still got 4 cups. Isn't that beautiful? And then we can just go ahead and add it in any kind of container. I'll show you the container that I will be using, but any container, you could even reuse a container that you have. I would just, try to have something that has a lid, and it should last you for a week, maybe even a little bit longer, but I think a week is fair, 5 to 7 days. And let me grab that container. We're gonna pour it in there, and that'll be it. Okay, I just am going to use this container that came with my milk machine, but if I didn't have one, that would be okay too. Look at that. Look at that. Beautiful. Oh my goodness. See? And we didn't need the milk machine. I can stick it in the refrigerator and I'm ready to go. Thank you so much. Jill, I hope this is inspiring and helpful. Again, I'm sorry it took so long to get this videos done for you. I hope if you're not Jill and you're watching and you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. I'd love to hear from you. Place a comment if you want, and I will get back to you. I want to say, even though we weren't using greens today, don't forget to eat your greens, everyone, and always, always, always give plants a chance. Thank you so much. We'll see you next time. Take care and be well. Bye-bye.